People who are like music purists and just like want to make a record and play a live show and don't care about marketing their record and the music speaks for itself, you're going to hate me, you know, like you're going to.
I laugh because I'm the same.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
How are you dealing with that when you're staying one step ahead and people are pushing against that? Like, what are the conversations to get people on the same page as you?
I think it's my clients are really open to that. I think I learned through the process of doing it for a while, the type of client that works well with me and the type of client that doesn't work well with me. I think that people who are like music purists and just like want to make a record and play a live show and don't care about marketing their record and the music speaks for itself, you're going to hate me, you know, like you're going to.
I laugh because I'm the same.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
Fuck with me.
Yeah, it's like I'm just like it's always like, what can we do? Like, what can we do? What strategy can we bring to the client to help them build results? Because especially today, especially the way the market works is like we're in control. Like the artist is in control.
And the inner team, the
inner team is in control. So for the first time ever, you can dictate. You can dictate 100% as long as you get the results. But the way that you get the results is through the work, right? And the work comes from doing the digital stuff, doing the marketing. So like, you know, I'm obsessed with CRM and I use Laylo. There's a bunch of them out there, but I love my Laylo. And when the beaches came off of Universal, you know, I emailed how many emails you have? They're like, 1,500. 1,500 emails. This was a band that could sell 5,000 tickets. Like they had just done two histories. Yeah, at that time. They did 2 histories in Toronto.
Okay.
And I was like, I feel like this is important. I don't know why. I kept on getting those emails like, build your email database. And I like would have the calls and I would like listen, and then they'd be like, give a really expensive amount. And I was like, And then it wasn't until someone introduced me to Laylo, and Laylo was really fun because, you know, the first one was if someone replies to a DM, a story, you could like reply to the story saying like happy.
Yep.
And then that's when the sign up comes in and it became a game. Like I started gamifying it.
Yep.
And this was before the Blame My Ex album was like the Beach's first EP that we released together. And, you know, that's a lie. It was Blame My Ex. It was Blame My Ex, and it was the first 2 singles. And, you know, nothing had gone viral yet. But in 1 month, the band went from 1,500 emails to 6,000 because we used it as pre-sales. We did merch drops. We did giveaways. And I was like, wait a second. Like, I think there's something here. Like, and then every time that we released a record and released a single, we were able to message those fans. And I stare at Spotify for Artists maybe 100 times a day, and I would see the difference. I would compare, okay, this is just based off of playlisting.
Chart metric.
No, I love it. Like that's delicious. That was delicious.
Yeah.
Spotify for Artists, and I just like stare at it and I compare, right? And it's like, okay, so this is the EP that we did that we've solely relied on playlisting. This is the EP that we did where we got to message 6,000 fans. Like, look at the streams are higher. The listeners might be low, but the streams are double and the saves are triple. And I was like, and then I took the data and then I emailed Spotify.
I want to take a quick break in the pod right now and talk to you guys about something I think could be of importance to you. If you're listening to this pod and thinking, I could really use some personal guidance right now, and you're serious about building your career in the music business, I'm now offering one-on-one private strategy sessions. These are fully personalized, just you and me tackling whatever you need in your music career. Listen, this is the part where you might be thinking to yourself, who the heck is this guy? Well, I got over 17 years of experience in the music business, whether it was working as a manager with artists like Jessie Reyes, or working with major record labels like Island, Republic, Universal Music Group, or Sony, or producing content for high-profile artists like The Weeknd and Eminem, to producing content for elite brands like the NBA and Nike. I can definitely and confidently say I can help you map out your next moves. Whether you want to talk about structuring your team, navigating the industry, scaling your brand, or just simply learning how to make money in this music business, whatever's most relevant to where you're at, let's talk. You can now book for a fee a one-on-one session with me, an artist manager and a podcast host, to help you figure out your next steps. Find the link in the description below to book a one-on-one consultation session. Also, big shout out to those who watch this podcast. Bringing value to an audience who seeks it is a blessing. I can't thank you enough for tuning in. I appreciate you. Now let's get back to the pod.
Hey guys, like
Amazing.
look at this last EP. We did this, I know maybe you didn't support it as much, but I just wanted to show you that like, look at the data, look at the difference. And then like they do what they want with the information. But at least I had, they're always like, what is your marketing tool? What are your results? And then I'm like, hi guys, here are our results. And it was the first time I felt in control. And I said, I can control this metric. I can do proof of concept. I can prove that it's going to work.
Yeah. Okay. Can I take a couple steps back?
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
No. Don't apologize. Don't be so Canadian with me. Okay. So you're in between being at Arts and Crafts. You come across the beaches, right? And then you connect with them, start managing them shortly after they get dropped, or in the process of them getting dropped, because they're at Universal Music for a few years.
They're at UMC for 6 years.
For 6 years?
They're there for a long time.
Okay.
And they're
there after you're there.
They were there
after you were at
Well,
Universal.
it's funny when I was quitting and I was going to start my management company, and like that just signed it, and Jeffrey's like, we have this amazing group of women coming to join the company, the beaches. We just signed them from Island. Like, be great if you could work on it.
Oh, it's nice. Jeffrey recognized that, and he said for you to work on it.
You should work with them. Yeah. And I was like, no. I was like, I want to. And it's funny because at the time I'd gone from the UK, going to 3 gigs a night, being in studios, to like being in a cubicle, and I felt so stuck.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I wanted to leave to manage Charlotte with Jason, but I also I wanted to feel the world again.
Yes, sir.
I didn't want to feel the 9 to 5. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to feel like I had no barriers.
Yep.
And I was like, no, I don't want to stay. I want to. I don't know. And I said to him, I want to travel. I want to travel the world the way that you traveled with Broken Social Scene. Like, I want that for myself.
How can you not understand?
Yeah, he was like, yeah, I 100% get it.
Yeah.
And I did and then I did. Wait, what was it? Oh yeah, so I'd known them but we had met. Like, we met when they were signed to Island. I met them in New York. And I'd known them. We followed each other. We Instagrammed each other. Like, we saw each other in parties. Like, they were just, during the pandemic, like, Leandra lived by my house, and like we would high five walking in the street like once a week.
Oh shit!
Point. Yeah.
Wow.
And it was Zach Layton who.
Shout out Zach.
Zach has always been like a huge champion of mine.
Same.
And he, after Charlotte, he's like, no, man. He's like, I really believe in you. I think you're an amazing manager. And he had heard that the beaches hadn't even fired their managers. He's like, he had heard that they were firing their managers. And he calls me. He's like, I gotta tell you something. Beaches are firing their managers. He's like, you were meant to manage this band. And I didn't have the confidence. Like, at the time, I was like, I am. And I saw, like, I saw what needed to be done. Like, because I got the type of music that they were making, and I knew them well, and I was just like, I know what to do, but I just like, I don't know, like, I was pretty,
yes, you were going
I was down. Yeah, I was down. I didn't have the confidence, and it took me 2 months to send them the DM, I think I did it drunk, and I sent Kylie, a DM, and I was like, hey girl, you want to go for a drink? And she brought Leandra, and they had done the rounds and met with a ton of managers by then. And I was like, how's it going? How's the manager hunt going? And they're like really close to signing to a company, but they're just like, oh, we just don't know. Like, they're just like, something feels off, like, they were super transparent. They're like, something just feels off about it. And I was like, well, like, I've gathered you here today to like tell you that I was like, I want to manage you. And I said to them, I said, you guys are the coolest people I know. You're the funniest people I know. And I was like, but the problem is that, like, you're making like blues rock music. And like, you're making in Canada, we have this disease where it's like, if you're coin in America is alternative, But if Coin were Canadian, he would be pop. But if Coin is American, it's alternative. So like Canada, we have this very particular idea about what alternative music is. And it's very rock leaning. Whereas when you go into America, alternative music is quite pop. It leans a lot more pop. And so like if you're a Canadian making rock music in Canada, in America, it's not alternative music. It's super rock music.
Rock music.
It's like you are in the rock genre.
Period.
Whereas like in Canada, they were like kind of like on the pop alternative world. And I was like, you're 4 girls, you're funny, you dress cool, you're the life of every party that I go to. I was like, if you could just make the records like 30% more pop or indie or just like a little bit more like the type of music that your friends would listen to. I was like, I just don't know why the Doors wouldn't. I was like, to me, I was like, it's obvious the Doors are gonna just like open up.
What gave you the confidence to be so transparent with them on that first hang?
I think I'm just like that. I think I probably a couple cocktails as well, but I think I just like it just felt like I was like, I know it. You know, like it's one of the rare moments in my life where the path was so clear to me. And I just like was like, I just know if we change this and we change this, it's gonna happen. And I had blind belief, you know, like I really believed in them. And then they, you know, and then Kylie and Leandro are like, oh shit, like we want you to meet Eliza and Jordan. And then I sat down with them, same thing, had few beers in, and I'm like strategize, you know, lots of hand movements. And they 100% took a chance on me, you know, like I was an A&R / manager. I had, you know, the people that I was competing with for management, compared to them, I didn't have much, you know, like, right. But they just like, I don't know, they followed in the same way that Charlotte followed Jason that time. I think, especially Kylie, like Kylie was like, she always says to me, she's like, you're the best decision I've ever made. Where they just like, they had this feeling that was, she sees us and she knows what we want to do and can translate it in a way. And then we kind of
hit the ground running.
Yeah,
from there.
I was like, exactly. Hit the ground, exactly.